Today, I'm going to show you how to do a search engine optimization audit on your website. An SEO audit is an important step in the development and maintenance of any website. I'm going to be analyzing Questionnaire, a startup company, at getquestionnaire.com. Let's get started. Step one, you want to make sure that you have one browsable version of your site. So whatever you type into the address bar, it gets you back to the same site. What I mean by that is you have HTTPS and the www here. What you want to make sure is that this works with and without the www. So we know it works with the www. Let's try it without. Okay, great, that works. Now we're going to take off the S and it just be HTTP with the www. Great, that works. Now we're going to do that again. We're going to remove the S, and we're also going to remove the www. And that works too. Great. Second part of step one is to make sure that your site is secure and your certificates are installed properly. If it was, instead of this, it should say that the word secure with a lock. So something must not be right here. Now it does say the certificate is valid, so I think what the problem might be is that it's just not installed correctly. So my first recommendation for Questionnaire is to install their certificate correctly so their site is secure. Step two is to set up a site crawl for your website. So I'm going to go into SEMrush. I went to Projects, Get Questionnaire, and then here is the site audit. All I have to do is click Setup. Then it says 100 word, limit of check page 100, that's fine. Website, that's fine. And start setup. And that's starting to crawl the pages. So we'll wait for that and get back to that later. Okay, step three is to check the number of pages that are indexable by Google. To do that, type in site and your address. We did that, we got 8 results, and here they are. So let's see if that matches what we got from SEMrush. So let's go there, and it looks like it does match in that pages with issues were 10, so out of 18 checked pages, 10 had issues, so that would equal 8 that were indexable. So step 4, let's figure out why there was a difference between what was indexed by Google and what was crawled. So to do that, we're going to go back into SEMrush, we're going to go to the crawlability, and we're going to view some details. Here are the reasons, or the crawl budget waste. Temporary redirects, there were 2. Permanent redirects, there were 4. And duplicate content, there was 8. There was 1 4xx error. So if we want to know a little bit more about that and what the recommendations would be, we just to compare crawls. And here we'll get an overview of your scores. And we're going to scroll down to errors and we're going to take a closer look at some of them. So here it's a 4xx error. It tells you right here how to fix it and what it means. Okay, so we're going to check that into that. Broken internal links. There was 1 broken internal link. Obviously, you would go through and correct that internal link. There was 8 duplicate content. So here's the way to fix it. You just make content a little bit different on each page. Now there were duplicate title tags, so to fix that, you got to make sure you go into your title tags and make sure that they're all unique. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We'll scroll down a little further. All zeros. Here we go. We have issues with mixed content, 10. So if you want to know what mixed content is, you go in. So apparently there is secure stuff on non-secure pages. So you want to make sure you only embed HTTPS content on HTTPS pages. So you want to go in there and check that out and fix that Questionnaire. Okay. So step 5 is to do a branded search for your company on Google. So you just go to Google and you type the name of your company into the search engine. So here, it did originally come up with Questionnaire, and I had to switch it to Questionnaire without the E. So something to consider if you do have an unusual spelling for your company name. So here we look through, there are other companies or things coming up with Questionnaire. These are not our company. So let's see, it looks like this may be, let me test it and see. That is the LinkedIn for this company, so that's great. So it's coming up in 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one. That's not so bad. It's LinkedIn. It's not your company's website. though. So it would be better to have your company's website appear there, or even the app itself. So I think what you need to do is check out some of my videos. Let's see how far we go. I have some SEO optimization videos on YouTube. I'll put a link to them below so that maybe you can increase some of these results for you. I'm still not seeing the company website. We're on the second page of Google now. Let's check out the third page. Questionnaire. I'm still not seeing it. Still not seeing the website. 3 pages back, most people don't go past the first page when they're searching on a Google search. So you definitely want to increase that. So I will definitely put the link to some of my SEO optimization videos on YouTube up in the description below. So let's try a different term. Let's try, this should work. We should try getquestionnaire.com. So when we type in getquestionnaire.com, it is the first one that comes up. It's also the second, the third. It looks like it's the fourth because that's the parent company. That's the parent company that's fit. So that's good that that's showing up there. So we're at step 6. We're going to do a manual on-page SEO check. So we're going to right-click and we're going to go to View Page Source. And we're going to check a few basic elements on the site. So the first thing that we want to check is that there's a clear and relevant title. So here's the title tag that we found, and it says Questionnaire Live Audience Polling. Okay, so that's clear and it's relevant. Next, you want to confirm the structure of the title tag. So with that, you should have your priority keyword as the first word here, and then your brand name would typically go here as the second or the second priority word. So you might want to consider switching this around, questionnaire. And also consider, is live audience polling your keyword that you're going for this page? Maybe it is. I'll let you decide. Okay, so let's go to SEMrush and see what they have to say about your keywords. So your first keyword in your title tag was the name of your company, questionnaire. So we just went to Keyword Analytics and we typed in questionnaire and we hit search, and unfortunately for your keyword, your first keyword, you've got no data, so there's not going to be a lot of volume for that. So let's take a look and see if we can see what your next keyword was. So your next keyword was live audience polling. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and we're going to paste that in and see what the results are for that. Okay, so 390, not that much volume, but better than nothing. And we scroll down and we see, let's see, oh, your competitor is ranking for that. So I would definitely switch. You definitely don't want your questionnaire being the first word in your title tag. This is a stronger keyword search. You might want to come up with a few alternatives that might be better keywords, and we can take them in here and test them out and see how they do. So just to see, I typed in questionnaire into this SEMrush the way it's normally spelled, and there's a very high volume for that. It's 60.5. So you're going to get a lot more opportunity with a volume that high if you incorporate that maybe into your keywords. Just a thought. Now we're going to want to check the meta description for the site. So we're going to go again into the page source and we're going to type in description and see if we can find it. So it says it appears twice. So this says sign up for questionnaire, learn about new releases, added features. It's not really in the description text. So let's see, it's on the meta description, and that's not either. So I think you're kind of missing the description here. It should be concise, compelling, descriptive of what your site is about, and it should include your keywords that you want to rank for. It might be a good idea to update your meta tag description so you can get higher rankings for your site. So questionnaire, you might want to update your meta tag description It's not a ranking factor, but it can increase your CTR, which will then increase your ranking. So now we're going to check for the H1 tag. You want your H1 tag to be clear, relevant, and include the keywords that you want to rank for, just like in the other two technical SEO aspects of the description and the title tag. So here we have the H1. It says introducing questionnaire. It's clear, it's relevant, but you might want to consider what keywords you want to include in there that would maybe help you to rank a little higher. Now we're going to check for H2s, H3s, and H4s if there are any. So H2, it says one of 16. We want to make sure that the H2 tag is under an H1 tag and refers back to it as relevant. So let's see, here's the H2. Let's see where an H1 is it's supposed to be referring to. Sorry for the scrolling here, but I'm not seeing an H1 tag above that. Let's check out the H. If you use any H3s, 0. Okay, any H4s? Okay, so you have an H4, but you don't have an H3, and this H4 is right under an H1, so you probably would want to make this an H2. Real-time audience modeling, so it does refer back and is relevant to the H1. But I think it might be helpful to clean up some of the H tags here. So step 7 is to go over errors and warnings. So remember when we did the site audit earlier? You're going to go back to that in SEMrush or any tool that you're using, and we're going to check it out. So we already went over the errors earlier in the video. So now we're going to check out the warnings. And what's great about this tool is because it tells you what's wrong and it tells you how you can go about fixing it. So we'll just take a look at a few of these here. So let's see. Oh, here we go. We found this too, right? 10 pages don't have meta description, so it wasn't just the home page, it was the other pages as well. So how do you fix it? In order to gain a higher click-through rate, which is the CTR that we mentioned earlier, you should ensure that all of your web pages have meta descriptions that contain relevant keywords. So you want to incorporate your keywords very naturally, but you definitely want to include that. Let's see if we can find any more. Okay, so 5 pages have a low word count. So that's important because search engines look for pages that have a lot of information because they want to give results that are going to be quality results. So that's an indication, just as it says here, yep, quality signal to search engines. So you want to make sure that you're providing enough content. So they target anything that less than 200 words. So how do you improve it? Improve your on-page content and be sure to include more than 200 meaningful words. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through here so you can get to see some of the others that you have. Here, questionnaire. I'll go a little slow. See if anything else pops out. Okay, so here we have the home page does not use HTTPS encryption. So we found that earlier too, but it does say here, it reiterates Google considers a web page security as a ranking factor. So you definitely want to correct that certificate that we saw earlier. So switch your site to HTTPS. I think you probably have it. You just need to correct that error with that certificate. So step 8 would be to check for duplicate content or thin content. So I ran, normally you would go to the content analyzer, and I did that and I ran the audit, but it wouldn't do it. It said we couldn't audit your domain, and it asked for the sitemap URL. Maybe that's why, because I think that was an error on the other page that there was no sitemap. So perhaps if we created a sitemap, that would help this. But all is not lost. We can go back to the project and we can look at the page we were looking at before in the site audit section under errors and warnings. And I believe the warnings had some light content on them. So let's go back to that and we'll take a look at one of the pages perhaps. Let's see, low word count. Let's see if we can, yep, so that was it. So let's go in there and pick one of the pages. What's great about this tool is it tells you every page that it's finding the warning on. So you can go back to questionnaire, you're going to go back to the contact page, the download page, features, contact features, and when you click on one, it tells you all the errors and warnings that are on that page. So for example, this page has similar content to one other page, so obviously you want your content to be different on each page. This page has the same title as 2 other pages. We talked about that earlier. You want to have unique title tags in your page for each of your pages. Again, it has little content, So you want to go in and we're going to have to update the content and add a little bit more so it provides a little bit more value to your reader. It has a low text to HTML ratio. And then meta description is missing or empty on this page. So again, we talked about that before. One URL page is return a permanent redirect. And this page has more than one H1 tag. So we talked about all these things earlier in the video. So just go in and take a look at each of the pages and correct these errors. Almost there, we're at step 9. So this is going to be your site speed check. So you're going to go to Google's Page Speed Insights, and you're going to type in your URL, and they're going to spit back the information that you need. So unfortunately for this one, it's probably too new, so they haven't had a chance to, they couldn't really give us the speed, the page speed, but they could give some optimization insights. So on the mobile we're talking about here, it's low. So they give some explanation and things that you can do to correct that. So here's what they're saying to do, and I'll just click on some of these so you can take a look to see what it says or how to fix it. Some of these things you probably want to do questionnaire to help out. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll back up and we're going to check out the desktop. So desktop is medium, so it's a little bit better than mobile. And then again, they give you some things to fix, which seem to be pretty similar to the things that we saw on the mobile as well. But I'll just click on these quickly so you can take a look questionnaire, and hopefully that'll help you when you're going to make some changes. Okay, so that was our site speed check. Another thing that you can do for the site speed too is to go into the waterfall report and see what you get. So you just right click on inspect and then you go over to network and then it shows you the waterfall report. Anything long is not good. So this is the questionnaire.com homepage. And so it shows you some additional information. There's that SSL again and the initial connection. Anything yellow is not good. Things in the red family aren't good. So gives you a little bit more insight there. Okay, so step 10, we're going to check for structured data errors. So you just go to the site and you type in your URL and you hit run test. Okay, so it says 0 errors. So it says Henry, so this is probably a WordPress site. But there's better ways to set up your structured data. So one of the ways you can do that is you can go over to schema.org, and since this questionnaire is an app, I typed in an app, and then there are some options here to choose from. Mobile application, for example, might be a good option for you guys at questionnaire. And then these are some of the criteria or things that you could enter in into your structured data that might be a little bit better choice. And last but not least, step 11, you're going to analyze your backlinks. So you're going to go back to SEMrush under Domain Analytics and Backlinks. Then you're going to type in your URL and click Check It. So this is a new site, so there's not that much information on backlinks yet. There's nothing for the overview, but you would want to go in for your site and check all of these, check your follows versus your no follows, things like that, and see where you are with your backlinks. Now we know with search engine optimization, backlinks are one of the top 3 things to do to be successful. So, since Questionnaire didn't have any backlinks on their site yet as a startup company, I went to SEMrush link building tool and plugged in some information about keywords and their competitors. And they spit back a lot of information that might be helpful in building those backlinks. They give you all prospects, so 2,376 were listed here. They gave us 1,508 keywords to help us do that, and 893 competitors. What you would do is go through these lists and check off the ones, really look at them and check off the ones that you think might be helpful to create a list of things that might help you start building your backlinks for your website. Hopefully this SEO audit of getquestionnaire.com will help you realize how you can do an audit for your site so that maybe you too can improve your website SEO. I'm Larissa Mott. Thanks for watching.